Hi. So the new F1 trailer came out a week ago, and I decided to find a breakdown to watch while I was eating lunch. But I found out nobody has done it yet, so I decided to dissect this trailer myself. This is my first time, by the way, so some of the things I say may be wrong. Also, since copyright is an issue, I've decided to just mute the entire audio and recap the trailer. Sit back, grab a drink, and let's get started. The trailer starts off with our main character, Brad Pitt. Wait, no, sorry. Sonny Hayes, an ex F1 driver. He's talking to Kate, played by Kerry Condon, in a bar or something? I don't know. They're talking about how to combat other F1 teams in the corners, which is kind of the point. See, F1 cars are excellent in corners. Anyway, they're talking in a bar, and I know this picture of a house behind them. I may be overreacting, but I could not find out whose house this is. I'm pretty sure it might just be nothing, but let me know if you guys figured it out or whose house you guys think this is. The trailer then cuts to a scene in Monza, showing the pit wall for Apex GP. Of course, the first full F1 car you can see speeding by is a Scuderia Ferrari. On the timing board at the corner of the screen shows Lewis in P9 followed by Nico in P10. Now in the background, you can see the paddock pass members watching the race from above, but a hidden detail you might have missed is the safety car part. This red safety car is of course the Mercedes-AMG GT safety car. I'm not sure about the car at the back, it's more rounded to be an AMG GT, so I'd say maybe an Aston Martin colored red? I'm not sure though. After the scene, we're introduced to the first ever look into the Apex GP garage in Silverstone. You can tell it's Silverstone based on the pit wall and on another scene later in the segment. One thing to take note of though is the fact that the tires are on. Usually they keep the tires off the car until they're ready to leave the garage, or even if they are on, they'd have tire blankets on them. Now it is possible that this is just for testing, but still I am a bit confused. Also, you could see the team's car for the first time. A small Geico logo can be seen on the side of the wing, and it's now confirmed that they'll have a Mercedes engine for their car based on the AMG logo on the side of, the car. On the next scene, you can see Joshua Pierce, played by Danson Idris, the second driver for Apex GP. He's walking through the motorhomes, and I noticed a few. Of course, you have the Ferrari with the horse, a Red Bull one, and on the right hand side is an Apex GP motorhome with the gold trimming. It looks a lot like, those guys from GT. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Now keep in mind that they did start filming this in 2023, so it makes sense that there's an Alpha Tauri motorhome in the back. What? Okay, I think it is, but okay, anyways. We see the Silverstone crowd awaiting the start of the British Grand Prix. You can see the fans wearing F1 merch such as the Mercedes pink cap, the Lando Norris neon green cap. Also, there's a Vegas ad. As far as I know, there hasn't been any shooting at Vegas, but I may be wrong. But with all the tracks in this movie, I wouldn't be surprised if they did add that in. There's nothing much in the following scene, just a team doing some practice run with each of the members, all having a Mercedes logos on their shirt. Same thing like they'd have with Williams in real life. The trailer then cuts to the team at an actual race, based on the fans behind them. And here is the owner of the team, Ruben, played by Javier Bardem. I think I butchered that name. Here we can see Sonny on a track walk during practice, or maybe testing. I don't know, but the grandstand behind him looks extremely empty. So now we see the Apex GP cars in action. Sonny driving through the old hangar straight, going straight to Cop's corner. Then it cuts to the final corner of the track, and then I think that's the straight at the end of Sector 1, and then there's an aerial view of Magus and Beckett. Then the scene cuts to the starting grid, with Ruben talking with Sonny as he's preparing to race. Now I may be wrong, but it does seem like they're starting pretty far back from the starting grid based on the lights. But if you look closely, you can see Joshua also preparing for the race, just watching Ruben and Sonny's little banter. He's all the way back there, if you can see. And a montage of racing clips. A crash that I think Hungaroring after the main straight, then under the tunnel at Monza, then back in Hungaroring, and then we see Joshua frustrated. I'm assuming after the crash in Silverstone, based on the data and the telemetry on the screen. But I don't think that's Silverstone on the TV. That looks more like Imola, but I may be wrong. We then see Joshua's crash on the final corner of Silverstone. Now this track, I'm not sure. It could be Catalonia or China, but either way, a lot of gravel near them. Then the drivers singing the national anthem at the British Grand Prix. Next to Joshua is Max, followed by Checo, Alonso, Carlos, Charles, and I think that's Stroll. Another detail I thought of putting in is the numbers that the drivers chose. Joshua is taking number 9. Last person with number 9 on the grid was Nikita Mazepin, and before him was Marcus Ericsson. Sonny, however, has number 7, which was of course Kimi Räikkönen's iconic number. The crash is maybe the Silverstone one, but I'm not sure. Then we have a shot of a Red Bull in what I think is Zandvoort, giving a tow to another car behind him in the rain. I can't make out what car that is, it could literally be any car. But this scene might be at the end of the movie, where they're consistently fighting for the win, so it might be them. And then we have Spa. This scene was actually from an onboard of an Alpine, by the way. It was promoted everywhere. Then the same crash again at Silverstone. And now we see Catalunya properly, the main straight anyways, with Sonny almost making Joshua crash into the pit wall. Yeah. Then a couple of shots of the team, and of course, the highlight of the trailer, Gunther Steiner. We then see a Williams have an internal issue, causing a fire in their car at Hungaroring. And then in a scene of Ruben being surprised or scared, I think that this could actually be Sonny's crash that made him leave the sport before Ruben actually owned Apex GP. And then I think this is a close-up of a crash from China. And of course the infamous
They're going for sleep.
This time in Monza. Of course at the end of the trailer is just the fight between Sonny and Joshua at Silverstone, taking the final chicane. Of course, Silverstone is the place they shot most of the onboard scenes. The trailer then closes with the title of the movie F1, which I thought was just a sponsor when I first saw it, and then a release window of summer 2025. And now that's all I managed to spot in the trailer. Let me know what you guys might have spotted in case I missed anything. I'll be covering more F1, motorsports, and karting stuff on my channel, so please subscribe and share this video around. Thank you so much for watching.